All right, welcome to this week's Walker Talk.
Welcome.
We've got we had a whole bunch of things happen this week, and I'm just going to lead off with something that I thought was so important that I pulled out my phone and wrote it right after. I put it in my Google Doc, which is where I keep all the notes for Walker Talks. Which was, as we were driving down the street, I saw a dog that looked just like Sparky. It was amazing. And it made me sad, but also really happy.
I tried to take a picture, but it was a little too late.
But we were driving, so. But that's just where we start. I love Sparky. As Sparky, for people who may not know, which I think most people know, but if you don't know, Sparky was the best dog ever. And I loved him, and he hopped on 3 legs, and Brooklyn never met him, but he was cute. And he would howl with you. And if you told him he stunk, he would walk out of the room with his tail between his legs. And that was cute. Yeah. And he used to grab socks out of the sock basket, and he'd come and play, and you'd like tug of war with him, and he'd chase you, run away, run around the couch. It was really cute. Anyway, that was the first part. I saw Sparky, a Sparky dog.
Yes.
Okay. So getting into things we've been doing though, it was actually a really fun week. So starting with Brooklyn is on call, and she just got her first new project. So tell us about it.
Yes. Well,
what can you tell us about it?
I can't say much because
she can't say anything.
It hasn't even technically really been approved. They're still trying to get the script approved. But
Don't say anything.
I can't say anything about it.
Don't
but
say
I'm on a
anything.
new project.
Nope. Don't even say that.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Okay.
Just kidding. Big hush hush. But she did start doing some work. So she's not just bumming now.
Yeah. But they brought me in.
She's working for her money.
I know. They brought me in and they were like, okay, so here's a rundown, and here are the characters. Like, here's the main 2 characters, and they kept talking about them. And I suddenly realized, like, oh, you want me to design the main characters. Like, you guys don't have character designers on this project. Like, I feel like I'm not getting paid enough to be doing the main characters. Anyway, so
but she's
it's
doing
super
some
early. Yeah, it's super early in the project, so they're just bringing artists on periodically to test out the characters and just get, like, new styles. They're like, we really like your style. It's more graphic, and we want to just see your take. Because they've had other people do their takes on it. But yeah, I'm a little stressed because I've never done a main character before. Yeah. Usually the characters I design are written out like 2 weeks later.
She's putting
not always, but
she's putting like huge pressure on herself.
Yeah, I've been stressing. I have to like tell myself, oh, it's just a side character. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but it's been really fun and pretty cool to watch happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to be working, right?
Yeah. No, it is good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's nice to have like a week off where I tried to create like my own personal project, but there were a couple days where I was like, I'm just gonna like clean the house and kind of do my own thing. It was nice.
Yeah.
But it's good to be working again.
Which is pretty good. So other than that, it was a pretty uneventful first half of the week. Like up to Thursday, basically we worked during the day, we watched TV at night. We're not going to tell you what we're watching yet because we'll get a little farther into it, and then we'll do a big opinion segment about it because I have lots of opinions about it. But it's good.
Yeah.
And so basically that's all we're doing. And then Thursday, so Shad Christopherson's home from his mission, has been for a couple weeks now, months now. And Cody, anyway, they set up, Shad wanted to do a Dungeons and Dragons game. So we are playing Dungeons and Dragons, Cody, Shad, Kasha, who's Cody's wife, Ryan, who's Cody's and Shad's littlest brother, or little brother. They don't have another brother. Their other brother, I guess. And then Kasha's brother, Kasha's dad.
Bunch of people.
I think that's all. But we're all doing a big Dungeons and Dragons thing together over like the the internet. There's like a website that Shad has put stuff together, and like it shows up. We all just talk over like a voice to chat or like chat software, and we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. So
tell them about your character.
that's fun. My character is a bard. He plays the pan flute, aka, just kidding, not aka because that's also known as, but I'm going. Anyway, basically the way a bard works is there's like a charismatic character that has a lot like that uses magic that's channeled through like poems or singing through music stuff, and they almost always have like a bard. If you're imagining a bard, they have like a lute or some sort of thing. But I learned, because I've never played legitimate like branded Dungeons and Dragons before. This I played like other versions, but I was told while playing that when you're a bard, you're actually supposed to play music or sing something, or when you cast spells, it's just kind of like what they do. And so I'm going to, if you guys don't know, I'm the master of a recorder, like the little recorder flute thing.
I bought it for him for his birthday.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
And I shred the recorder, and so I'm gonna play some recorder songs for them next week.
Dude,
and
you should play it for them right now.
No, maybe another time. But I'm gonna play some recorder next week, and it's gonna be awesome. But I'm excited about it. It's really fun. It's really nice to be able to talk to people, or like to play games online, and Dungeons and Dragons is really fun. As a matter of fact, I really want to play it with our family, even if it's kind of a little more off-brand or a little more simplified, because it's a fun thing to do. And I think it gets a bad rap. I mean, it's pretty nerdy, but it's not rightly so, but I think it gets a bad rap, or not a bad rap, but like it's misunderstood. Like people, a lot more people would like it better than they think they would. That's all. So maybe we'll do that sometime. Maybe for Christmas. Maybe for the Walker Cup. Just kidding. Can't be the Walker Cup. You can't score Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. Anyway, that was way longer. I'll keep you updated with that, though. It's kind of funny. Okay, so that was Thursday night. And then Friday night, Melissa and Blake are in town this week, which is super fun. Blake's grandma lives in Long Beach, and so they spent the week down there, and they were doing all their vacation stuff, and they graciously invited us to Medieval Times, which is like, if you don't know what it is, it's like a big jousting tournament. Like you're like go in and it's in a castle, and there's knights and they ride horses, and they're all dressed up, and then they joust and fight. I want to talk about it a little later, about like the actual my opinions and like whether I'd recommend it or not. But it was way fun to be there with Melissa and Blake, and we had a blast. It was so funny. They feed you dinner, and then they do this jousting tournament. 4-course
meal.
Yeah, like right? A 4-course meal, and it starts kind of with garlic bread and tomato soup, and then they bring out like half a chicken, just like half a roasted chicken, not roasted, like a rotisserie chicken almost, right? Yeah. And it's just like
half of a chicken.
Yeah, so you get one
per
wing,
person.
One breast. It's just like and you eat it all with your hands. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna skip the opinion segment because I would recommend this 100%. I don't even need to. It was so fun. It felt you just got really into it, and the knights, they're out there fighting, and the horses are really cool, and they do jousting games,
and you're seated in sections like for each knight, and so we were rooting for the black and white knight, and which was just really fun. You have somebody to like root for or boo against, and that was really fun.
It makes it feel like you're actually at some sporting event, but you're really at like a play, right, where you're eating dinner, but you're cheering for your knight, or in this competition. Right. I'm putting my air quotes as close to the mic as I can, but I don't think you can hear it. But anyway, it was a blast.
It was fun.
It was so much fun. And like that night driving home and the next morning, it was like our voices were all hoarse because we were like
we're
cheering
calling
so
for the
loud.
death of the other knights. Because they like pretend to kill each
like
other.
fight to the deaths. And
our knight ended up being like dishonorably kicked out.
Well,
or
he
whatever.
was so
It's like a warmonger.
Yeah, he got so caught up in wanting to win that he denounced the queen, and
Pretty
then
awkward.
he got put in his place by the Green Knight.
Yes.
So,
Okay, can we go back to the
was fun,
chicken real quick though? I just feel like had I known it was going to be half a chicken, I would have been like, maybe I'll take vegetarian because
It's
it
like
was
a half a chicken.
so hard to eat half a chicken. And when they put it on my plate, I was like, I can't waste half of a chicken. That's so much food. Anyways, all I'm saying is that chicken, it died, but I ate every bite.
She did.
So
Even
I
though
honored
took
it by
forever.
eating
And then
it.
there was pound cake at the end,
It was pound cake. It was good.
and a potato, and corn.
Yeah, it was
on the
good.
cob. It was good.
It was,
really
a fun. It was a really fun
It was
event.
a blast.
The horses did like tricks and stuff.
Yeah, and
That
they
was
rode
cool.
around and.
You guys probably all saw this on my story, but oh well.
Well, hopefully. Well, other people might not have, so who knows?
That's true.
So we did that. That was pretty fun. Oh, I would just suggest if you're ever in a place if you ever live somewhere where there is a medieval times, or you're ever like, I want to go do something like that.
Yeah, they have
or you're
locations
close-
all over the U.S.
Yeah, do it. It'd be fun, and I think it would be really fun for kids too. Like
Yeah.
it's not. It might be a little scary for little kids, but it's just fun, like knights and horses and some swords and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. So then we went home that night, and we went back to spend the day with Brooklyn, with Melissa and Blake. Brooklyn was there too.
I was there.
But with Melissa and Blake and Blake's family. So it was with the Larsons. So Sean and Nick are Blake's brothers that were there. They have one other brother named Brian, but he was not there. And then Steele and Nancy, which is Blake's parents, they were all there. And then Sean's wife, Roshana, and Nick's girlfriend, Lindsay, was there as well. And they're all just like some of the best people. They're just so fun to be with. And it was really fun. We just got there earlier in the morning, talked for a little bit, and then we split up for our adventures.
Yeah.
And so, do you want to start with your story, or do you want to start with my story?
I don't care. You can go.
Okay, I'll go first. So we split up, and Brooklyn and Melissa and Roshana stayed and did their thing. But we, being Steele, me, Sean Larson, whom I very frequently refer to as Slarson, because we work together, and our emails are like mwalker at Vision Solar, or in his case it's slarson at visionsolar.com. And so he is Slarson. I have one other person I work with named Jake Evans. I to this day refer to him as Jevons because I think it's funny. He calls me Malker, which is dropping the W, but that's what he calls me.
Yes.
When I answer the phone, he's usually going, Malker, Malker, Malker. That's what he's saying when I answer the phone. But he's kind of weird. Oh, wait. Anyway, so Sean, Blake, Steele, and Nick, and Lindsay, and we all went sailing out of Long Beach, and that was so much fun. Like a dream come true. I have wanted to sail for so long. And one time in Rhode Island, we went to a sailing club for a steak fry with the Tessiers, and there were big sailboats there, and big, and out in the Sound there were like little sailboats kind of sailing around. I was like, oh man, that would be so fun just to sail and do some sailing. But you know, I just never have. And Steele invited me, or Blake invited me, and we went, and it was so fun. I loved every second of it. It was cool because it's like you're using the wind and you're sailing, and and when you turn, you have to, you switch the sail sides, and everyone's running around, and the sails are flapping around, and you're moving pretty fast, and the boat's like tipping because it's catching the wind. It is so fun. And I enjoyed it so much. But I am plagued with motion sickness, and seasickness is not
much different.
No, it is the same thing. So I did get pretty sick. I don't know. For the first hour and a half, I was totally fine, and then for some reason it started setting in. I got pretty sick for the next. I mean, I was just on and off sick for the next like hour or two, but I started hanging my feet over the sides and dipping them in the water, and that was just really fun because you could feel how fast you were going in the water, because it's kind of hard to tell sometimes on a sailboat. You're moving, but to feel it is really cool. And then that helped a little bit, and just standing and walking and stuff. Anyway, I eventually threw up discreetly. I did it as discreetly as possible, and made sure that I wasn't throwing up into the wind or anything like that. Yeah, it's gross, but I mean, it's things you got to think about when you get motion sick all the time. And so anyway, I threw up and just felt so much better. For the last hour of it, I was just like completely fine, and it made me think, why didn't I throw up earlier? Why did I fight this for so long? Because it just once it's out, you just feel a lot better. So but that was really fun. While we were out, we saw dolphins coming up, they were coming up for air and stuff, and we sailed over by them, and the first time we came over them, a bunch of them they stayed kind of high in the water, and they were right by the boat, and Blake and Nick were kind of out on the bow on the front of the boat, and they could see all of see them real close, and then we turned around and went back and forth a couple times, and then they started moving away, and we didn't chase them anymore. But that was cool. I've never seen dolphins in the wild. We saw some sea lions on a buoy, and a bunch of birds. But it was the coolest thing was just sailing and just being with good company, and just doing sailing is a cool thing, because it's like you're just being pushed by the wind. It's just nature, and I don't know. It's a really cool thing when you sail.
They sang a lot of
and
Moana.
I sail. We sang Moana. We tried to piece together the yo ho, a pirate's life for me, and we tried to piece that song together, which I was telling Brooklyn earlier. I don't think anyone in the world knows that whole song and can sing that whole song.
But if you do,
if you can prove me wrong, just record yourself, send it to me, or just tell me. I'll believe you. Probably not, actually. No, you have to record yourself, because I won't believe you if you just say, yeah, I know all the words. I don't believe it. But we tried to piece it together, and they knew a lot of different parts. I was like, see, I would not have even known that. So that was pretty cool that we almost got that song. But it really was 2 days ago that I was telling Brooklyn, no one knows the words to that song. So my theory holds true so far. And then we went back, and now Brooklyn will tell you about what she did.
So while he was gallivanting on the sea, Melissa and Rashawn and I had a little girls' night, which was really fun, or girls' day, I guess. So we went and got sushi, and Melissa and Rashawn had some hammocks, so we set up some hammocks, went to a park, and just found some trees that made kind of a triangle, so we just set up our hammocks and chatted for an hour or so. And then we got such good massages for, get this, $25 for a whole hour. And we were like, what? What's the catch here? Why is it so cheap? And we couldn't figure it out, but it was amazing service. Melissa said she's had a lot of massages before, and it actually holds up. So anyways, if you guys are ever in Long Beach, you should go get a massage for $25. It was pretty much a full body massage. I mean, they had also a $50 full body massage, which maybe is just more thorough, but it was awesome. And they were super accommodating. The lady was really sweet and had my massage bed, whatever. Since they didn't have any pregnancy massage beds, they just elevated it and then at a certain point just had me like turn on my side and had a pillow to put in between my legs, and they didn't give me like the bucket of water to put my feet in because I think they just didn't want to raise my body temperature too much. So anyways, they were just very thoughtful and sweet, and it was fun. So that's what we did while they were sailing.
Did you get attacked by a beetle?
Oh, I actually wasn't there during that part.
Oh.
So I went to the bathroom at Planet Fitness while Melissa and Roshana got attacked by a beetle, I guess. So I don't know the whole story, but I guess they kept trying to swat it away, and it was like trying to attack them.
Just imagine being attacked by a beetle, and I'm pretty sure that that's what it would be like incessantly attacked by a beetle, if I remember it correctly. Like even once they got in the car, it was still like pounding on the window, trying to get them. So
it's like
that's
Jaws.
pretty fun, and like Jaws. Anyway, the rest of the night we had dinner, we hung out and just talked.
And this was at Eileen's.
Yes.
So the
Blake's
grandma's house in Long Beach.
Long Beach, yeah. We hung out, we talked. I learned I learned a magic trick. It took Steele and Blake were tricking me in Brooklyn with a magic trick. It was good. As a matter of fact, anyone who's like, I want to see a magic trick, be like, okay, I'll show you a magic trick, and then we'll do it. That's all. But it was really fun. And then we ate dinner. We ate so much dinner, and then so much cupcakes and so much
ice cream. It was a blast.
It was so much fun. And then we came home. Yep. And that's pretty much it. And then today we went to church, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
It is our last week teaching nursery before Brooklyn has the baby.
Yep. We got, 18 days?
18 days. And that's kind of
17,
like 18? The update for the baby is we're just getting closer and closer. We haven't been to the doctor.
We will this Wednesday.
This week we go to the doctor again. And then we did install our car seat, which was much easier than I thought it was going to be. I was dreading it because I don't know why. It just seemed like, I feel like every story about installing car seats has been like, oh, it's so hard, it takes so long.
Most people do it incorrectly is what they say, like 80%.
Know.
And I'm still like, maybe we should still take it to
it is
station,
so,
make sure it's right.
It is so stuck in there. I did such a good job. It will never come out again. And maybe that's what people complain about, is moving car seats, like having to take it out of one car and put it into another because
it's just a pain.
Because it's so hard to undo after you do it the first time. So maybe not. But that's what we did. We're trying to right now get things in the house the way it will be when the baby comes, so that there's less to adjust to. So we're going to get out the pack and play, kind of put it where we think we want it, and kind of get everything set so we can kind of adjust.
Which is basically in the middle of the apartment.
Yeah. So
that'll be fun.
It will be fun. But that way we can adjust and hopefully get to a place where we feel confident about it. And then also, so we don't have to adjust to as much. Hopefully, this is the theory at least, adjust to as much when the baby comes. So, which is soon. We're excited for that. So on to the opinion segments. I forgot to do this. I mentioned this like months ago about me starting reading The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I did not. I don't know why I didn't wait until I finished it, because I usually try, if I'm gonna opinionize
share your opinion,
share my opinion on something,
critique something.
I try to finish it first, because one time I don't even remember what TV show it was, but I recommended it to my father, and I had not gotten far enough into it to realize that at a certain point it just is really not a good TV show.
What was it?
I don't remember. Maybe Dad will remember. But Hunchback, I did finish. I finally finished it. I listened to. Now, Victor Hugo is a wordy dude. He just is like,
he got paid by the paragraph or something, right?
I think he was paid by the paragraph. And so it gets kind of, because a lot of those books at those times were written as serials, so in the newspaper, like week to week or day to day. I don't know exactly what it was, but man, some of the stuff, it was really hard for me. But there are some long descriptive chapters. I was trying to tell Brooklyn once I finished it, I was like, I think I could tell the story of Hunchback in like 20 minutes, and you'd like feel the same as you would after having read the whole Hunchback. So, but I listened to it. It is a fantastic. It's a fantastic. What word am I looking for? It's a really good study. That's what it is. It's a fantastic study on the different types of love. At least this is the theme that I kind of get out of it. There's a lot of like youthful love, and then like lustful love, and then like true like love of Christ, like charity type love, and I think that was really interesting, and probably one of the more blunt parts of it. It was really interesting. There are a couple chapters that I feel like it didn't need, but all in all was worth it. It's unabridged, so maybe an abridged version would have been better. But the story itself is really interesting. But there are some parts of it that are kind of like Romeo and Juliet-esque, like where it's just like, I can't even believe that you would do that thing, because there's no way that you've known them long enough to actually like love them that way. And when I say Romeo and Juliet, I'm actually talking about West Side Story, because I haven't actually that's the most recent iteration of Romeo and Juliet that I've seen or participated in.
You haven't seen the Leonardo DiCaprio or whatever that's called, Romeo and Juliet? Oh, okay.
No. And I mean, not recently. I know I've seen or read parts of Romeo and Juliet. Anyway, my point is, I would definitely recommend Hunchback. The story is great, and it's really, I think it's a good literary work. And then there's also like well, I'll go on to this in a second. I would recommend it. 8 out of 10. Like there's a reason that it's part of a class, like it's a classic kind of thing. I think it's really cool also because Victor Hugo was focusing. There's a couple chapters where he focuses specifically on architecture and historic architecture, especially. And it was all in the afterword. He wrote a note, so it's like after they published it, it was like 6 months or a year later that he did a different edition where he added 2 chapters that talked about Paris, what it was like at the time in, I don't remember the Hunchback set, like 1400s or 1500s, versus what it's like in the 1800s when he was alive, and then also talking about the architecture of Notre Dame and certain key features like the Bastille and the Palace de Justice, like places around Paris. And he said it was because at the time there was this big movement against or a big movement that was tearing down all of this old medieval architecture in the name of like aesthetics, like of either they were upgrading it or modernizing things. And the architects at the time were saying, we have to tear this down so we can build something beautiful in its place, or we should remodel this so we can make it more beautiful. And his point, he was vehemently against that and really wanted people to realize the importance of architecture as a form of art, even if it's old and even if it's not as beautiful as you think it could be. That it's really important to remember that that's the way that's the way it's preserved. And he does a long chapter about how architecture, until the printing press, architecture was like the lasting things of civilization, and the lasting, like where even where a lot of civilization wrote its ideas was in walls and engraved in things and in stone, and then the printing press comes and it kind of shifted where all of that information and how culture was perceived. And it's really, there's some interesting parts of it. Sorry, that's kind of long. The next opinion is right after I read it, I was like, how did they make a Disney movie out of this? Because there were parts of it that were really, really dark, and other parts that's like, I don't think you could put this in a Disney movie and stuff like that. And so we watched, and neither Brooklyn or I remembered or had even seen.
I don't think I'd ever seen it. I'd seen like a few minutes, but I don't, it's not one we ever owned as kids.
We'd never seen really The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and if we had, we don't.
It's like The Black Cauldron. It's like I never even heard of that until I was like 18.
Why would you use that? That's the best one.
Really? That like almost destroyed amazing. Disney.
I love The Black Cauldron.
That's like a period piece that like defines when Disney almost went out of business. Like, that was during the Black Cauldron days, like when things were pretty shaky.
To each their own. We will agree to disagree
Talk
on The Black Cauldron.
to anyone in animation, they'll agree.
But The Hunchback of the Disney movie. Now we're talking about this. How did you like The Hunchback, the Disney one?
It was
from an animation perspective.
From animation
or whatever.
I thought that the animation was great. So actually, I don't know if this changes anything. So my mentor, Joe Mosier, he was a rough in-betweener. This was like his first, big project. So he worked under Tony Fucilli and Mike Wu, I think. I'm not actually sure. Anyways, not that you guys care. But it was his first like big movie at Disney. He had just been hired. And so he talks about it all the time. I don't think he like really loves any of the movies he's worked on just because he's super self-critical. But he like is fond of this one just because it was his first experience. Yeah. But so what about still, I just feel like it was so strange. I don't know. When we finished watching it, I was like, it just left a weird like feeling in my soul. Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird movie.
It is kind of a weird movie, but it's a weird story. And I think that as translating it from a book that's kind of a weird book into a movie, they did a really good job. Yeah.
And Matt like paused it every so often. It was like, oh, this character is actually somebody else. And this character is actually two different people in the book that they combined into one. And so it's kind of interesting. Or the other way
around, yeah. It was interesting the way they did it. I think it was good. I think it's fun. The music is not like most Disney movies.
But it was written by the same person that did all of the other Disney movies.
Alan Menken? Who did...
it was good music. It was just like strange and kind of like... It felt very medieval.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like... I don't know. Sounding.
I did read where he said that Alan Menken really loved Hunchback and the music done in it, but it's not the kind of poppy musical music that you see in a lot of other Disney movies. But I thought it was pretty good. It did okay following the book, like there at least from taking a 23-hour Audible book and putting it into a 1 hour and 30-minute movie. Like it was pretty good, and it's pretty fun. And in that iteration, it is significant. The bigger theme in that one is about what makes a monster and what makes a man. Like just because Quasimodo's ugly, that doesn't mean that he's any less of a man. Like it's what's on the inside that counts and stuff. So it's I think that has a really great theme. If you can get, it's kind of like I would say it's kind of a scarier kids movie though.
Yeah, like, it is pretty dark.
Like on par, not like that it's hype, like really dark, but it's just like it's on par
heavy
with
themes, I guess.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I don't know. 7, 8, 7.5, 7.6. I don't know. Anyway, we would recommend that. Okay, we did Medieval Times. That's on my list, but we already talked about that. So the last thing, controversial in the Walker family, I know for a fact. Yeah, but it is Krispy Kreme donuts.
Why is that controversial?
My dad hates Krispy Kreme donuts.
Okay, what?
Yeah.
What, Scott?
Yeah, he does not like Krispy Kreme donuts.
We're going to have to talk about this.
We grabbed some Krispy Kreme donuts this weekend.
I love Krispy Kreme. Yeah. It's so good.
And so there's Brooklyn's. Brooklyn gives it an 11 out of 10.
Yeah, 11. I could give it 1,000,000 out of 10.
We like Krispy Kreme donuts a lot. I like them because I love, actually, okay. I love the glazed donuts as much as I love any of their other donuts, but they have a great selection of different kinds of donuts, and they do different flavors. Like this time we got a Reese's donut. It was a chocolate frosted chocolate cake donut with peanut butter filling through the donut. It wasn't like
the peanut butter they put in Reese's, right?
Well, I mean,
like something
kind of
like that.
I don't think it was actually that, but it wasn't like a cream filled donut where it's like doesn't have a hole and it's filled with cream. It was like a donut, a hole, like a normal donut with a hole, and the ring was filled with peanut butter.
It was impressive. And delicious.
Where else does that? Nowhere. It's delicious. Their New York cheesecake donut was terrible, but all in all, bad. It was just not what I was expecting.
It's like lemony. Yeah. I don't really love lemon.
Their maple
stuff.
bars are great. Their just normal chocolate frosted donuts are great. Their glazed. Okay, now going back to glazed donuts.
Original glazed donuts.
Their glazed donuts are so good, and they're so insubstantial that you just take a bite and it's almost like cotton candy, where it's like I bit it and I know I ate it, but I don't feel anything, and so you can eat so many of them. They're so good. Anyway,
we don't get them very often. We sound like donut fiends, but that's the first time we've gotten one in like
a long time.
A year, maybe.
There was a point like a year ago where we had like a fund, like a donut fund. It was like every Saturday we were allowed to get donuts, and we would go get donuts, and we'd come home and we'd eat them. Like every Saturday, and it lasted like maybe 1 month, and then we're like, we can't do this anymore. Yeah. Like the donuts. Too many donuts.
We went off sugar or something like that.
Yeah, because
we gotta reel this back in.
Yeah, so we're a lot better with it, but those donuts are pretty good. We like Krispy Kreme a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to Scott because I can't understand. I cannot.
And he won't understand us. That's all right.
He likes donuts, though, right?
Yeah, he loves donuts.
Okay.
I think
it's not like he just hates donuts.
I don't know if he loves donuts. Likes donuts like a normal person.
Anyways, cool.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I think Dad likes Hostess donuts, the little ones, like the Crunch donuts.
Better than Krispy Kreme?
Oh, I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess
comment on this.
I gotta
just call
fact
us
check
and
here.
tell us because we need to know. Anyway, that is it.
I sound so judgmental right now. If you don't like them, it's fine. I'm just in shock and awe. Just kidding.
It's good. But that's our week. This was long. I think this is the longest one we've done so far.
Probably.
Maybe not. 37 minutes.
Okay, love you. Bye.
We love you guys. Bye. Bye.